All right, since we have Jason with us, why don't we get right to Jason and hold off on the minutes and all the other kind of stuff? Instead of putting him through all that boring stuff.
I got all the time in the world, so whatever you guys want.
Sorry. Okay. I guess this would be to discuss with Jason. Jason's here to help us along with the trash for the upcoming year, or this year actually, but fiscal year 21. Does everyone in their packet? I'm not sure, but does everyone have in their packet the thing that frequently asks questions? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, somewhere.
I have it.
Hold on 1 second, Blake. If you guys aren't talking, can you mute yourself because you're getting feedback?
Is there anyone else in the office with you? No. Huh.
Oh, but you can get feedback at your own house.
Really? No kidding.
Maybe it's my computer. Let me shut mine off and see what happens.
Want to try it now?
All right, you go away. Paul's muted.
Paul, we can't hear you.
I said keep on talking, but you can mute yourself. You can mute yourself personally. That way, if you're not talking, you won't be hearing static from people walking around or dogs barking or doorbells.
Right.
All right. At any rate, everyone have that pamphlet there?
Yes.
Has everyone had an opportunity? Jane, do you think this is the way we should proceed with it? I'm going to ask for Jane's assistant because we've been working on it quite a bit. On the questionnaire, try to fill it out as we go, Jane. So everyone, are we willing to discuss some of the TDVs?
Yeah, let me find that particular one.
All right.
Are you referring to the frequently asked questions?
Yes, because I think this essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Crafton, will almost be part of our, what's the word I'm looking for, regulation? Once we fill this out, you got to unmute yourself, Jane.
This is going to be a mailing or a handout, whichever way you want to do it.
Right.
Jane, do you have that easily accessible to email to me?
I
I don't know what you guys are
don't
looking
know.
at.
I might be able to email it to you, but they're questions you'll be able to take, off the top of your head. They're going to be easy.
Okay.
But you can start, and I can see if I can email it from my other computer. Hold on.
Okay. Basically, the first, well, I guess it'd be the second question. Well, we can start. What is automated trash and recycling collection? I think that's everyone pretty much just agrees. It's just showing us what it is. Okay, that's not really to be debated. I don't believe. The second question is whatever. I guess what starts to be determined. Jason, and I'll read it. When is the town change to automated collection? It says the town will be switching to automated collection on. Well, I think that's just going to be July 1st, 2021, correct? People,
That's totally up to you guys.
well, I mean, that's the tenant target date, isn't it?
Well, like I told you, now that they expedited the shipment of the containers, you
Right.
can start as early as you want.
But to be fair, I agree with that. I think it was stuck in my head that we just should start on the beginning of the fiscal year to be able to execute your contract, we'll say, to the date. Is that fit? Is that
It essentially doesn't affect the contract because
right?
you're running off of the pricing right now for automated
Right.
service, which I know Jane asked me for a revised proposal for the next 4 years, but the proposal doesn't change. The pricing I gave you was for the automated service, and the price was going to go up if we remained conventional pickup. So from a financial standpoint, it doesn't really change anything.
Right. Okay. I think for the town to give enough leeway, I'm hoping July 1st will be enough for everyone. Has anyone put any thought into that? Tommy and or Bob?
I think July 1st would be fine. We just gotta get some of this stuff out and, so that they'll know it and have put the public hearing somehow, but, outside of that, I think, we're gonna do it. We may as well start it when we can, July 1st.
I think that I think that if we have the time to do the public hearing, which I think we need 2 weeks of lead time on the notification of that, and then set up a time that we can actually do the public hearing. If you guys feel that we can get all the information out, then I think on our end, we're okay. The question is whether or not Jason could work into that schedule as far as the distribution of the new carts, all the preliminary work that needs to be done to be able to go live with it, depending on what the schedule looks like, when the first pickup would be, when we would actually start with the automated. And I know we have a calendar in here that we could look at to see what date that would be. But July 1st is on a Tuesday, and then the following Monday is the day after the 4th of July. I don't know if that's going to be a standard pickup day or not.
Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, July 4th is not affecting our collection.
So it could it could start on the 5th.
I mean, realistically, I could start it whenever you guys want that. I'm gonna have to default to you.
I agree. It's up to us because Jason's the contract that I've already agreed to with Jason. He's already ordered the barrels, Tom and Bob.
Yeah.
He can have them in as soon as Jason.
I can have them delivered to every resident by the last week of April.
Okay,
So when I place the order for the carts, normally around this time of year, this is when everyone's ordering their carts, and they're back ordered, and they're anywhere from an 8 to 10 week lead time. And then I was going to pay them to assemble and deliver all the carts for them because it's much more accountable. They record GPS coordinates when they drop them off. They barcode everything. They will attach any sort of literature that we want, where they'll put it in a watertight plastic bag, attach it to the handle, any sort of handout that we want. And when I placed the order, they had an opening to produce. They had a cancellation the first 2 weeks of April. It's going to take them about 2 weeks to produce the carts. They can't store them afterwards. They don't have a space. So as soon as they're done producing, they go right into a tractor trailer and they ship immediately. And their assembly and delivery team therefore had an opening because, again, someone had canceled, and they gave me a discount to go and deliver them. I know what your thoughts are on the people getting the cart earlier, even if they don't use them.
Jason, I can't hear you that well. You're breaking up a little bit.
I didn't know if it was you, Jason, with the background noise. Do you have background noise, Jason? Sorry to butt in, Tom. Someone definitely has some background noise.
So when I mute myself, do you lose the background noise?
So far, so good. Keep talking.
So I'm in my office by myself. There's nobody here. I don't know what the background noise, because I hear it also.
You do too. Okay.
So what I understand is that there's once you place the order, and then it's delivered to you in trailers. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then as far as the at that point, do you want to be ready to start distributing these right away, or is there an assembly time, or how does it work?
So ideally, the manufacturer can assemble and deliver far more efficiently than I can. I was estimating it's going to take me about a month to assemble and deliver to all the households, where they're going to get it done in 5 to 7 days. So
They're gonna get the assembly and the delivery done. Is that what you mean?
yes, they will deliver to every house. They will barcode and take GPS coordinates of where they placed the barrel so that nobody can say they didn't get their barrel. And they will, if there's any literature that we want the homeowners to get, they will attach that in a watertight bag attached to the handle.
Okay, so now then before the start date, we're gonna have to also let everybody know that this is gonna be happening. And is it possible that that could be something that could happen in June? And would it be more appropriate to have it closer to the start date than a lot earlier, where people are gonna have issues with extra barrels around? What's the opinion of, getting that out, potentially doing that in June, maybe 2 weeks? I don't know what the lead time that you would need to be able to do that, instead of doing it earlier, like in April or May. Does anybody have any discussions on that?
Well, my thought is that if we can get the barrels, say in April, already put out and dropped off to the homeowners, couldn't we start it a little bit earlier instead of having barrels hanging around? And if we got them, why not start them?
I don't think we have enough time to do the public information part of this if we're going to do something in April. Because Jane, you're going to need to do mailings, and then we're also going to need to, so you're going to need to do the mailings. It makes sense that they would get the mailings, be able to generate some questions, have a public hearing to generate the questions. And so scheduling that in sense that maybe in June or the end of May, I'm just throwing it out there that it would be appropriate to start delivering and actually having them show up. Because I think people may push back a little bit if we're delivering stuff. People are already complaining about having extra barrels. But first off, we have to pick a start date. And I think once we pick the start date of when we're going to actually start the collection, then we can work backwards into the time we have to do what we need to do. But I think it would be too soon to deliver them in April unless people are aware of what we're doing. And I don't think anybody's aware of what we're doing. Jane, how much time do you need, Jane, to do your to send out these mailings on the frequently asked questions or questions stuff?
Well, I would have to copy the facts. I can do that on the printer at work, but the mailing would go to Minuteman. They're pretty quick, but then it's going to take, getting them counted, sorted, mailed. That's a couple weeks out. But the thing about the public hearing, I think we should think about doing a public meeting, informational meeting, because a public hearing should really just be for voting, on the regulations, not really the program. So an informational meeting, I think, would be helpful first, so everyone can have a voice from the residents.
And so doing the frequently asked questions before or after that?
We can even pass those out. I can put them at the food mart. I can do a mailing, whatever you want to do. But the other thing that I have in there is more of what I thought we would do as a mailing when we discussed it last year was the all the facts and stuff. This I thought was just going to be a handout, but I can mail that too.
So Jane, for a second. Jane?
What's that?
Yeah.
Can I chime in for a second? So
Sure.
if you want to do a mailing to every house, if you know what you want to mail, I can have everything printed and mailed and in their box in less than a week.
Great.
Well,
That'd
that's
be
what.
awesome.
Oh, sorry. Jane and I were just.
We handle Newburyport Amesbury's mailings every year. We don't use Minuteman, we use another company, but they're extremely efficient and very, very quick.
Great.
And I'll foot the bill for it.
Did
I
everyone
think
hear
That's
that?
very generous.
So Tom, what just came up in conversation that Jane and I have been kind of going over with, because you know what I mean? We were saying that we should probably this is if everyone's in agreement, of course, we should almost immediately set up a public hearing for us to vote on it. I mean, the public can always chime in because they can come into any of our meetings, of course, you know what I mean? But I think we ought to set up a date for a public hearing for us to vote on it. Is that what it's considered, Jane, a public hearing?
Public hearing would be for the regulations and the
Right.
fees that we're going to charge.
Right, to set up and vote on our regulation and our fee schedule. And then in the meantime, we should come up with the mail out, which we should start immediately anyways, but besides that point, something we can send out, and we can certainly have that public meeting as soon as people receive this, you know what I mean? The mailing. It's kind of
Yeah,
what we
that's
were
a
talking about, right, Jane?
Yeah, public informational meeting.
Right, after we do our public hearing. Because I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, I know I push this hard, but you know, it's been something on that, you know, we've been talking for a year plus, and Jane and I are kind of getting bogged down on stuff. I'll be quite frank with you. But yes, maybe I'm pushing a little hard on it, but where we've already agreed to Jason's contract, we've agreed to do this. We kind of unfortunately have to either proceed or not with it. That's my feelings. But
No, we need to basically poop and get off the pot, really.
Right.
So we really need to, if we're gonna do it, we need to do it.
And that's why I started with the question and answer, and I didn't know if we could fill that in for Jane tonight, because this is a portion of her mail-in.
Yeah.
So can I just ask, is there any chance that you're not going to do this?
No,
No.
I mean, we're doing it.
That's what I thought, but when you keep saying that you have to vote at a public hearing, I'm getting.
No, we just,
That's
us
the
three,
regulation.
it's just to vote in the regulations, Jason. By law, we have to do it. I think we're all three committed. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we're all three committed just to take a vote on it. We just need to get it in the newspaper for, I believe, 2 weeks, Shane?
Yeah, I got to post it 2 consecutive weeks out from the meeting in the newspaper.
And that essentially is for us, Jason. That, it's not like for the people to call in and say, no, you can't. Well, they can. They're welcome too. But I believe this board is already committed to doing this. It's just a matter of a vote publicly with us. So it is a go.
I just wanted to make sure because I probably have a
No,
couple days before I could cancel that order without paying for it.
right.
They already
I don't
have my deposit.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that we're gonna do this. I think what we're talking about here is a thoughtful, timely way of rolling this out and disseminating the information to the public, making sure that we have the appropriate hearing if we need to have hearing, and informational meetings. I think that's what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about whether or not we're gonna do this or not. I just think because it's a big change, people need to be informed, and there needs to be kind of a thoughtful schedule of doing this. And that's why I said if we come up with the date that we're going to start actually doing it, and potentially it's July 5th, then we work backwards as far as what's appropriate for Jason as far as his delivery of the information. What do we feel as a board is the right way that we're going to disseminate the information through either mailing, websites, meetings, informational meetings, all that kind of stuff. I think that's the schedule that we're getting into right now, is that we're going to do it. We're definitely going to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. It's obviously the trend is going that way. And I think for us to be able to be competitive as a municipality going forward with contracting, we have to have this system in place. Doesn't matter who we're contracting with, it's going to be the way things are going to happen now. So that's what I think what the information is. We can go through the questions, we can decide that, and then ultimately we need to come out with, I think, with the schedule of what's the timing of everything, what goes out first, the meetings are set. I mean, we can anchor some dates right now if you want. If we have meetings that, if we can do a public meeting at some date, we can do that. Whatever the sequential way of doing this for the right way of doing it is appropriate. And then we can dovetail in the mailings out to people, out to everybody in town, and then come up with a date on when the stuff's going to be delivered based on when Jason can do it. Let's just set up a schedule on how we're going to do it. We can go through the information right now in our packets, and then we need to come up with a schedule, whether we do it at our next meeting or whatever, but we need to do it quick. And I think we need to have meetings every 2 weeks.
Yay, Tom.
Right, so do you want to go through the, go ahead, Jane.
Back to the regulations, just real quick. I got approval from Mike McCarron that what I wrote was good to go. So we can do that in 2 weeks if you wanted. At our next.
How many weeks?
Well, actually, no. What's that?
How many weeks, Jane? 3
I need
weeks
2
would have
weeks.
to be.
It would
Well,
be
2
like
weeks to-
3, yeah.
Right. So why don't, does anyone have a calendar on them?
Yeah,
Go
you
in
have
front
one in
of
your
me.
last page.
What? I keep hearing that. Where is that?
Last thing in your folder.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't get there yet. Sorry. Nice, Jane. Nice. Okay, today is March 9th. 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. Is everyone, Jane, I'll ask this to you. Do you believe we're cutting it too close to make it March 3rd?
Yeah.
You
I have
think
to
that's,
check with, only because, the West, Newbury Daily News doesn't print every day, so I'm not sure their schedule when they get it in for public notices, but I'll call them tomorrow
okay.
and find out.
What day are you looking
I
at?
mean, if you go into April, pick a day in April, and then it'll probably be no problem at all.
Probably April 6th. How does that sound?
You want to just go with April 6th?
And
Yeah,
that's,
that'll give you 2 weeks for the notifications.
Yep, sure will.
Actually give you 3 weeks to get everything done.
Yep.
and so we're gonna do that at what, 4:30 or what time? 5? Is there a better time to do something like that later in the evening or?
It's just a formality. I mean, people can come, but you don't have to hear them talk. It's just a vote on the regulations. And you have a copy in your folder of the regulations. Pretty simple. And I'll get you the procedures for that meeting.
All right, so why don't we hold a public hearing tentatively, April 6th at 4:30?
Okay, and if not, then I'll grab the next Tuesday, the 13th, if I get into a jam.
Yeah,
All
would
right.
you agree with that, board? I mean, that works
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
It's okay with me, either
Okay.
day.
Okay,
All right.
that's great.
So now if we can look over this, we may not be able to come up with all the answers. Is that fair to, I mean, I think it's fair to say.
What was that date you just threw out? I'm sorry.
Was April
April 6th.
6th.
Or
That's
the
just
20
about,
or the 20th?
Or the 13th.
I can't do the, yeah, I can do the 13th.
Okay.
so are we changing to the 13th? I just want to mark the calendar.
I'm gonna shoot for the 6th, but I'll let you
Okay.
know how I make out with the Daily News.
Okay, perfect.
And then we'll just happen, we can have a public hearing right in front of our regular meeting. And I'll post our meeting for like 5:30.
Okay.
Make sense, or you want just a dedicated meeting?
Well, I think it's a matter of voting's only take 5 minutes. Am I correct, Jane? It's just a procedural.
I
Yeah,
think
just
so.
going over the wording for the regulation and voting on it, and that'll take 5-10 minutes,
Yeah,
you know. To read it, if there's any discussion and everything else, you know, so it shouldn't be long. You can do it with a regular meeting.
Okay. Do you guys want to move on? Because this question and answer is what you're going to send out in the mailing, correct, Jane? Correct, all right. Do you guys want to start? We really don't have any other business tonight, correct, though?
What's that?
Do
Pretty
we
much is
actually
it.
have any other business tonight?
I don't think there's a lot of other business, is there?
you got a plan and some updates. That's about it.
All right, yeah.
And we may as well get as much of this done as we can then, if everybody's willing.
All right. Jason, did you ever did Jane send you an email?
Yes, I have
And
it.
so you got a question and answer. Okay, I just
I have
wanted
it
to make,
open, right? I have it open in front of me.
all right. July, let me just see. I mean, would people prefer to have, to begin on the first question, switch to automated collection on July 5th, or do we want to do it before that?
Are we, all right, we're talking about the frequently asked questions, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and we're talking about the second question.
Yeah.
What is the town changing? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that, I think that we should pick a date. Or we could say, I don't know if you want to do July, but ultimately you're going to have to tell everybody at some point when we're going to do it.
Correct.
If we commit to this, then we're committing to everything. So we do this mailing. So, I mean, if Jason thinks we can do it and we can do all the meetings and all the regulatory stuff that we need to do before then, and we feel that we can do appropriate public information, then we should just pick a date.
Okay. Do you guys want
Jason,
that's
Jason,
okay.
just a quick question. When did you say you could get the carts delivered?
So the carts are being delivered either the second or third week of April, no matter what. They're being delivered to me. I have to figure out where I'm going to store them, which I was going to ask you guys for help with. But for them to deliver, for the company to come out and deliver to every household, they're remotely flexible as long as I give them 30 to 45 days per week. So if I tell them I want all the cards delivered by X date, I think that they need to be delivered at least 2 weeks in advance to whatever date we're going to start.
Yes.
To ensure in case there's any problems, anyone doesn't get it, whatnot. And then they will get them to when they show up, they'll get them assembled and delivered to every house. And on where the carts are sitting, hopefully local, they'll get them done in 5 to 7 business days.
Would it be?
What I was kind of getting at a little bit is if we get them or you get them sometime in April, I personally don't particularly want you sitting on them and hogging up space in your facilities. I was just thinking of when we could get them delivered. And if we're going to deliver them, we may as well start.
So then we should have a public hearing before they're delivered though, so that people
Yes.
have an opportunity.
Absolutely. That's pushing it too much.
Yeah, my opinion on this is that my personal opinion, being a homeowner in West Newbury, is I think the closer we can do from the delivery to the start would be better. And I know that there may be logistical issues as far as storage issues, as far as where we're going to store them, working with Jason as far as where we're going to do that. But I think that we generate the momentum of that this is going to happen. Then we say the week of perhaps the 28th of June through the 2nd of July, you'll be receiving your carts. The following week, we're going to start, or maybe a week before that or something, so that you're generating the information. You're saying this is the start time, so that there's not going to be a lot of potential of people putting those out before it's time. Is that going to be an issue for you, Jason, if people use those before you're ready to have the automated truck?
No.
That's not going to be an issue.
No,
Okay.
it's a lot of people use carts that big as it is, even though they're not supposed to. So my trucks have cart tippers on them; they can do it. It's just not efficient time-wise. It takes much longer to do the route. That's not a problem. That's why I figured if we put the carts out, people can start using them whenever they want.
Okay. All right. But so then the linchpin on that, I think, is the informational part. I think that before the delivery, we need to do the informational part. And so with that, I think that the discussion just needs to be, when can we get all the information out, have the meetings, get the mailings out, let people know, and then decide when Jason wants to pick the date. Is it the beginning of June that we could do it? The first week in June? Is it the last week in May that we could do it? It's a holiday week, maybe, I don't know. But then I think that's good. I was concerned about the residents not being able to use them and having extra carts hanging around. But
Realistically, there's quite a few people in town that have purchased recycling carts from me over the years. So
Yeah.
they use them daily.
Okay. Okay, then the only thing that I would say about that, Bob, would be about the distribution of the carts would be to just make sure that the information is sent out there, that we have the informational meeting, and that we do the mailings on the frequently asked questions, and the fact that we're going to be changing it. And once those are in place, I think we can start delivering them. That's my opinion.
I'm fine with that. I just, like I said, I just didn't want to hang around, cluttering up Jason's space and waiting for us to decide when we're going to do them. That's all. I mean, if they can use them when they get them, that's fine.
I was gonna hopefully ask you guys for help for storage somewhere. I didn't know if you had any suggestions, because realistically, efficiency in delivering the carts is not having to travel far to go pick them all up. They pick up about 25 at a time and then deliver them. So I didn't know if anyone had any ideas of a space that we could have them delivered to and just store them, whether it be, Page School's probably gonna go back to school, but in that back parking lot, in the back corner or something like that. Or I know the horse people would be happy if we did it up at Pipe Stage. I'm open.
Jason, let me find out what we can do with the old highway barn where the water department storage facility is. Let me see if we can work out something there, because there's one bay that we don't use, and I'm not sure what the highway uses for the old garage that's behind it. They might be able to take a couple of trucks out of there if they got them in there, and we can use that, but let me see what I can find out about that tomorrow. And
Okay.
I will let you know.
They don't need to be stored inside.
Okay,
That's not a problem either.
all right.
But it will be roughly, I believe, 5 tractor trailer loads, 100-yard tractor trailer, or 53-foot tractor trailer load.
Okay. All right, let me talk with the highway department and see what we can work out.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. I'll see at least what I can find out.
Okay, thank you.
How many, you said 5 loads? How many barrels is in a load?
Oh, geez, wait, divided by, I'm just doing it in my head.
Hold on, I'll tell you exactly.
By 5, probably over probably about 350, Jason?
648.
Not even close. Oh, because I'm sorry, we're doubling that, because we're talking about a recycling barrel and a trash barrel, correct?
Correct. So you're getting,
Sorry, yeah.
I ordered you guys just over 4,000 carts so that I would have extras.
Right. Okay. All right.
Okay, so back to the question, when are we starting?
Okay, how's this? I'm gonna throw some questions real quick. If we were to come up with filling out this question and answer tonight, if we were to do that, Jason and or Jane, if you had this in hand tomorrow, Jason, all filled out correctly and basically ready to mail, and or Jane, what's the realistic of getting it out? I mean, I know what you said, Jason, but I want to put padding on this, a little bit of padding. I don't want to bring us down to the day. I don't think any of us do. So what's a realistic goal with that?
I mean, if to be very conservative,
I'd rather be.
yeah,
Two,
and if
three.
it's completed, I would say no more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. If we finish this up tonight, and I'm just throwing rough dates, guys. It's just because I have a calendar and I think I'm something special now. But let's just go with let's just say we could mail them out on the 23rd. And it's a hypothetical, okay? We can do them on the 23rd. These people would generate possible interest at our meeting, which is good, really. Even though we'll just be voting, we could talk about it after, I think what Jane said. Didn't you say that, Jane?
Yeah.
And it's better when it's fresh on people's mind, because if we let this public hearing or public that people can question us and stuff go into May and June, it's not gonna be helpful to any of us, I don't believe. I don't know if anyone believes that. So why don't we try to set a goal tonight of trying to fill in this as best as we can? And then Jane and Jason can hopefully get it printed out and stuff and sent out within the next couple of weeks. Is that fair for you guys?
Yeah,
Bear with me.
Okay. So automated, the automated date to give ourselves plenty of room. I mean, and to help Jason out a little bit, I think we should shoot towards the end of May. How does everyone feel about that? I didn't pick a date. I'm just saying end of May. Tom?
Are you talking about when he's gonna start doing the pickup, automated pickup?
That is what, yes, the first one on what date? Correct, yeah.
Okay, and you want to start in May?
I said the end of May is what I did say, but we can move it. This is what I'm throwing out a date there because I figured then becomes negotiating. If I say May 30th, then people say, oh, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. That's the only reason I threw out there for negotiating date.
Okay. When I was reading the information, I thought it was something that referred to a July 1st. Oh, all the fee schedules are going to start, as far as extra barrels, would start July 1st through June
30th, yep, of 22.
Through the next year. Okay, yeah. So if that's not going to be an issue to start it earlier in June, I mean, do you think
I can just adjust those dates on the fee schedules to commence whenever you want?
Okay. So I think that I think June maybe. Do you think June would be? Or do you think you want to do it May? Do you want to do it after the end of May, start at the beginning of June, like the week of the 7th? I don't know. Are we gonna? Whatever you got. You started the week of the 7th of June. I don't know. Monday the 7th.
I was honestly, I'm gonna open my mouth. I was gonna say towards the end of it, only because I'm trying to give us a little cushion time. I really am. You know what I mean? I would suggest May 24th, and I don't know why I come up with that number or date. It's just, I think like the first week of May may be a little bit too close. What do you think, Jason?
So
I think Tom was talking the first week in June.
Oh, June. I thought you said May. I apologize. I thought you said May.
I thought you said May.
Yeah, I was thinking of picking a start date in June.
Oh, okay.
It would be after the Memorial Day weekend, which I think would move the schedule around a little bit as far as the trash pickup. Is Memorial Day is that the 31st?
that'll be the 31st.
All right, so that's going to be a week that's going to have a little bit of a. We're going to push out the Monday trash to Tuesday, and then we're going to go to Saturday on the Friday pickup. So, do you think it would be better to do it on a non-holiday week and start it on the 6th of June or the 14th?
Start on the 7th of June would be fine.
I would think you're better off doing it on the first of a month.
On the what?
On the first of any given month.
The first of any. Okay.
Yeah, because the 7th would be the first pickup. Actually, the first full week of pickups. You know, a Monday and a Friday.
What would you recommend, Jason?
I don't think starting it on a holiday week is a bad idea. I don't think everyone's so accustomed to the holidays, they know when to put it out. I don't think that's really going to affect it.
Okay.
Like telling them you're going to start on the second week of a month, it's going to throw people off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it were me, I would pick a month, say we're going to start it on the first of the month, and tell them, not give them a specific date that the cart will be delivered, but tell them we're going to start on, say, June 1st, that sometime in the month of May, your trash and recycling cart will be.
Okay, so then what we'll have to do is if we pick the 31st of May, which will go into the first week in June, which is what you were thinking maybe, Jason?
Yeah, so the pickup for the 31st is gonna be delayed till June 1st anyway, so you start it
Right.
however you want to term it, May 31st or June 1st.
Okay, so we're gonna be implementing a new way of doing trash. And the only curve that we're gonna throw them is the fact that it's gonna be a Tuesday pickup and a Saturday pickup of that week. And as long as you don't think that's gonna be an extra curve to throw at them, then I'm fine with it. I was just
Shouldn't
thinking
be.
of a more standard week, but if you don't think that's gonna be an issue, I don't know what everybody else thinks, Bob and Blake.
I'm
Well-
running with what Jason says. I'm not, you know what I mean? So Jason, if we said May 31st, and what he's, see, Tom and I are looking at calendars. I'm not sure if you are, Jason.
I am.
Okay. Well, May 31st, you actually, if we say start May 31st, you won't even be picking it up on May 31st.
Right.
This is the holiday.
Correct.
And Tom was just making sure it's not, you're trying to start a new trash program, now you're not even picking it up on the correct days Tom's getting to. Do you think that's a problem?
No, because if we shoot for Monday, the 1st of June, that's gonna be a trash pickup day anyway.
There is no, the first, oh, I suppose.
31st.
Yeah, because Monday, if the 31st is on Monday and that's a holiday, they'll be picking up the next day, which is Tuesday, June 1st.
Yeah, I can just word that in the facts thing. That's easy enough to do.
All right, so why don't we pick,
Starting with June 1st pickup, the week of Memorial Day, we'll be
Right.
Yeah.
starting to automated
Right.
pickup.
there
If
you
want
go,
to wait
okay.
till July 1st to start it, if you guys are more comfortable, that's fine.
Nope, I think we just said it, June 1st, period.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that works. And that gives us
And
time
then the
enough.
second TBD will be May, right? Will be during the month of May.
Right. The cost will be delivered, correct, Jason, in the month of May?
Correct.
Okay, correct, okay. And the automated collection will begin the same date, isn't it?
Right, I'll reword
Yeah,
that so
June
it's,
1st.
Right,
okay, cool.
And
All
we
right,
may as
what
well
is the-
take out that sentence that says, do not use your carts until the date.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that.
all right. Does everyone read the question for, what is the reason for the change in trash collection? Collection of this type of collection is generally the Are you okay with that wording, Jason?
Which one are we on? Number 2?
I'm sorry,
Oh.
I think technically
Three.
number 3. What is the reason for the change in trash collection? The automated collection has become an industry practice.
If you could somehow put in there the safety of the workers, because realistically, that's what most of it comes down to.
Right, it's driving it, correct.
I mean, from my standpoint, it's the safety of my laborers, but it's also my workers' comp policy.
Right.
Okay,
And if we didn't, it's just the way the question's phrased, Jane, maybe I'm reading it wrong. But if we didn't go with this, it would cost an additional $20,000 a year. Is that, it just seems how it would cost the town an additional 20.
do I even want that in there?
I think it's, to be honest with you, I don't like putting it in there because that's what drives people nuts. Well, but this is up to the board, not me. I think they look at it, if we're just doing it to save money, they always think of a municipality. I personally don't think it's necessary to be in there, but that's just
Okay,
my
good, I'll
opinion.
get rid of it. Good.
Anyone else
No,
comment on that?
we can get rid of it, but if anybody asks that question, we can always answer it.
Sure. Well, and it will save us $80,000 over the next 4 years is what it will save us, but I don't think it's necessary to be in there.
Right,
No,
okay,
unless
good.
somebody asks, you know,
Yep.
that'd be fine.
What size of the barrels? That's pretty much self-explanatory and the answer is correct. Okay,
Sure
Tom's
is.
not looking at us. Tom.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be good. So the only thing we're gonna do on the draft of that third question is that we're gonna add maybe perhaps to the second question, this type of collection, we're gonna add in at the very end at the very end of it, making collection more efficient and safer for personnel, for the contractor personnel. We could add that on to the end of that question. We're going to get rid of the thing that says about the cost of it, okay? But
Yes.
I just think that it's important that people understand that the automated collection is becoming a standard industry practice, and we could add that in under becoming so that people know that we have to move in that direction, and that it's not, it's kind of like that it's a standard industry practice. We could add standard into there. That's all I have to say on that one. That's good. All right, go ahead, Tony.
I would agree with you, Tom. I think that's great.
Make sure that you clearly state that it's becoming a standard industry practice, because if you throw out there that it already is,
Right.
you're gonna have a lot of people complaining about neighboring towns.
Right.
Okay, it says becoming.
Okay. All right.
What is the size of the barrels? I think that's pretty self-explanatory, correct? I just let everyone read their own thing, if they don't mind.
Yep.
Will my collection day change? I think that's pretty simple. No, it's gonna remain the same. Will each household get a cart for trash and recyclables?
Is this an
Again, Tom.
Is this an option for us to put in the colors, where it says, town issued wheeled carts free of charge, 1 65-gallon brown cart for trash and 1 65-gallon green cart for recycling? Is that an appropriate place just to clarify what, and start identifying what they're being used for? Is that okay to do that?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's the best place to put it. I think you're absolutely correct. You got that, Jane, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was easy.
well, when you have no facial expressions, all right, I gotta have something from you. Another good idea, Tom. So far, you're 2 for 2.
Yeah, thanks. I'm done.
No.
Quota met.
Collections day won't change. Will each household get a cart for trash and recyclable?
Yep, we just did that one.
May.
Yep, May on the next one. Very good, Jane. Why don't you move this along? will my trash cart be collected?
Is everybody cool with the 6 times a year for the bulky item?
Yes.
Great. The extension, Paul and I have to work that out, and he's paying attention to us as usual. I'll work that out with him.
All right, we're just going down. Right, Jane?
Yeah, next page, page 3.
Page 3. Did we discuss? I guess we skipped over a lot. Did we just?
The
Yeah,
what?
Tom.
What question are we on now?
I know we skipped too far.
Yeah, we did, because it should be the bulk item sticker cost.
That's
Look
right.
at Crafton. Look at her smile. Hold that paper in front of your
Just trying to
face.
move it along. I was on
Oprah
page 3.
Winfrey's on, apparently.
Okay, so
Okay. All
Can I
carts will
use
be
my
delivered in
computer?
May. All carts will be delivered in May. I'll move it quicker. Sorry. Will my trash be collected if the cover is open? It's pretty appropriate. No, because that's what he has to do. What if I have an item that will not fit into my trash? This is where it became the bulk item.
Okay.
I talked to Jason a week or 2 ago. He discussed, because it's kind of defeating the purpose, and I agreed. Every 2 months is where we should probably go with the bulk. Every surrounding town doesn't even have a bulk, nevertheless, like we do every week. I don't know if anyone wants to comment on that. That's why I kind of stopped at that one.
So Newburyport does offer a bulk pickup, but they do have to buy a sticker for it. They don't dictate how often it can be.
Oh, okay. I thought.
So how do they decide when to collect?
Anytime somebody buys a bulk, if we pull up to the curb, because they don't do automated for trash, that's still railroad. If we pull up to the curb and they have a bulk item out with a sticker on it, we have to. I've been trying to get them to change
Oh,
that.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, but Jason's trying, if you let him, trying to get away from that.
Yeah, it's not possible with the automated collection.
Right. You have one guy drive, period.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So
So should we start that on July or August? What, every other month, Jason, or do you want to do all summer months, no winter? Like, what do you think?
I'm flexible on that as long as you're flexible on the day that I pick it up, because ideally you'd send me a spreadsheet of everyone that's gonna have bulk items out and we'll go pick them up. But you know, if there's only 5 of them out, I'll get them done quick. But if the entire town decides to have a bulk item out, it'll take me a little bit longer.
is there a time of the year that people tend to do more of this than other times, Jason?
I don't think so. It's just
Okay.
whenever I replace furniture, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And you know, honestly, what we could do is not put months in. I can just do a news and announcement, and then it will go out to the town people, and then they can call with their bulk item. We're like, we don't have to be stuck with a schedule if you don't want to.
I'm fine with having a schedule.
I am too. Once every 2 months, I think is sufficient. We may not have to say January 1st and then March 1st right now, but I think every six times a year, I think it's better. Would you agree with that, Jason, and not put a firm date on it?
I'm fine with putting a firm date, but I'm saying it would happen the first week of January, the first week of March, the first week of May. That's what, not giving a specific day that we're gonna be there. It might sit in their yard for a day, but we will get it.
Okay, you want to do starting in August, the first week in August?
Sure.
And we do every other month?
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, so we just have to, yeah, maybe we could put that on the town website, on the Board of Health website.
Yeah.
And just let people know it's gonna be the first, yeah, so just people know it, yeah. And there's no weeks that wouldn't look good doing that, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Great.
Sorry, I was just getting a drink of water. Apologize. Is that fit? Jason, the next question is where I really think we need your help. About the cost. What do you think about what, Jane and I kind of come up with? And the board, of course.
Okay, so if you come to my facility with a bulk item, you're gonna pay for the weight of it plus a $20 handling fee, because bulk items are hard to get rid of. So
Correct.
you're cheaper than my transfer station, which is fine. $20 I think is reasonable, and 40 for the larger items, because it's gonna deter people from just throwing out anything they can, and it's definitely gonna deter them from having their family members bring them to the house because they're not free anymore.
Right.
But at the same time, 20 is not outrageous.
And so are you gonna weigh all our stuff and then bill us that way?
So I'll end up most likely dumping it at the incinerator under your name. If it can't go to the incinerator based on what's in it, it would go to my transfer station, and then yes, I would just bill you.
Okay, so if somebody put a dishwasher out, you'd take that?
That's not a bulk item.
Okay.
That's
So
a
they
white.
got the-
That's the way. Okay. All right, good. Okay.
Okay, if someone put a table out there, is that all you're really getting to, Tom? You weren't just specifically saying a dishwasher, right?
No, I understand now. I think it's primarily it's gonna be old furniture and couches and stuff like that, right?
It's furniture and mattresses.
Okay. Mattresses are not part of this either. Is that correct?
They shouldn't be because they're a banned item, but really nobody's quite banned them yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I just read it
Technically a banned
October.
item.
Right?
And do you feel that the fee is appropriate for mattresses? Because I know that was something that was costly when I dropped it off at your place, I don't know, a year ago or something like that. Is $20 appropriate for a mattress?
So in my opinion, I would tell them that they can't throw out mattresses because they're going to 100% become a banned item. So they wouldn't be able to be picked up with bulk items. It just hasn't happened yet. It was supposed to happen January 1st, and it hasn't actually happened yet. So I recycle all the mattresses that we bring in, which is why they're so expensive to get rid of at my place. So the place that I go with them, they cost $25 to drop them off there. I only charge 30, I think, so not making anything, but I wouldn't offer mattresses as a bulk item if you can.
No, I've been telling people Newburyport, $20.
We've already kind of done that. We have Newburyport that will take them for $21, but we charge the people $20.
And they bill us one.
Right.
Yep.
So I do believe, in my own opinion, we leave it the way it is. Some people already, no mattresses, because you kind of gave us a little heads up, Jason. So we said as of January 1st, there is no longer. Bring them to Newburyport or you.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, then let's continue that theme, no mattresses.
Yeah, no mattress.
Makes my life easier.
Yeah. We may have to come up with a different extension for the, for those two, you know, how we had it somewhere else up in one of the other questions. We may have to get a separate extension, Jane, just for trash.
We have one. It's 141.
So that will be designated for that. You can put 141. Is that, have you already said that tonight?
I just have to talk to Paul, make sure he understands that he has to check it when I have a day off or on Fridays to get the items off the answering machine.
Yeah, okay. And I'll talk about that after, because I was gonna see if I could get access somehow to that at my house. Seeing I'm kind of, you know what I mean, heavily involved with trash.
And you want access to the extension?
Just for trash, not yours.
Yeah.
Just
I'll show you how to get it.
from the house. All right. Now, Jason, are you firm on the next question? How many bulk items may I put out for auction?
Ideally, one I think is plenty.
Then we keep it that way. All right, that's it. Next. Every 6 times a year, we said.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that by you guys only doing it every other month, it's going to deter people from even putting it out, and they're just going to throw it in their car and bring it to one of the transfer stations, drop it off.
Where are we? 6. Can I use another container? That answer is no. Well, yes, if you purchase one. So,
No, the intention of this question is for people that already have carts and whether or not they're appropriate. That's the question. The answer is that's the intention of that one. Is that correct, Jason?
Can I even
That was the original intention, correct?
Okay.
But if they feel that, once they get their card, if they feel that theirs is acceptable, then they're going to have to call, and then we'll send somebody out to check it. Which it states clearly in that. We'll arrange for an inspection by the operations manager.
Okay. So that would give them the option of not having having an additional carts that were town issued. Is that correct?
Correct, but I would somehow put in there that if they choose to use their own cart and it has been approved, that we're not liable for any damage to their cart.
Okay. Can you do that, Jane?
I can do anything, Tom.
Can I use another container besides the town? That's the question we're on, Jane.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
Yeah, make sure we're not liable for damage.
Yeah. Okay, next question. If my driveway is too steep or long. Is everyone good with that question, answer for that, for the next one? If my driveway is too steep or long?
My only
What
concern
do
is
they do now? You know,
last sentence stating that they have heavy duty lids that can be secured if necessary to keep animals out. I don't know how you would secure the lids.
Oh, damn.
They're not lockable.
So should I just say keep them shut, or should I just take that sentence out?
But do they have like a setup for like a hasp on them that
No.
if you want, they don't?
No.
So there's no way that you could secure it if you wanted to keep it at the end of your driveway and you didn't getting into it.
I mean, they could throw a bungee cord over it, but it would be their responsibility to go take it off before I come pick it up.
Okay,
I'll just take that line out.
okay.
That makes sense? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, kind of, unfortunately, yeah.
Alrighty.
I have a 2-family in-law apartment. Do I get additional cots? I know a lot of people have sticking point. You good with the verbiage? I don't know how else you're gonna put it.
Yeah, I think that's okay, a legal street address, right?
Yeah, I think it is, but I know there was people who had comment on it, Tom. It wasn't me. I know there was.
Mhm.
Is everyone all set with that question?
So
Okay, right.
the 2-family is gonna have 2 legal street addresses. An in-law
Right.
apartment is not, because an in-law apartment's not a separate residence, correct?
Right.
Correct. I mean, I know a couple of people who have them and they're legal apartments, you know what I mean? But they're registered, so to speak. They could get proof down the town hall if they had.
You know, they have the option, I think the ones that are not considered legal, there's options here. We have options where they can buy a cart, they can pay for it, they can include that into the rental fee. I mean, you know, there's options here.
Yeah.
Trash bags. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just reading the first question. I'm just reading the first question on the second page. Third page. I apologize. I think those 2 answers are appropriate. I mean, I'm good with them, but
What question are you referring to?
I'm on page 3, the top of page 3, because I believe we finished up with page 2, correct though?
Yeah, we did.
I was on to page 3, Tom, the first one, if we have a large family or an in-law apartment. There's 2 options that you can go to, is what I was saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you good with that, Tom? Or you
Yeah,
wanna- Okay, I didn't know if you don't think I'm picking on you, dude. How's your wife doing, Tom?
Good.
Seriously.
She's doing good. She's getting better. Yep. She's
Good.
Yep. She's driving, so be careful.
Hey, okay, we will. So everyone's good with that first question and answers on page 3?
Yep.
Okay. How would the carts be handled if I live on a common driveway? Is this the? I think that's the best explanation we can get. I think we're gonna have to take this issue by issue. What do you think, Jason?
You're muted.
I know, I was actually reading out loud.
No, he was actually reading.
So I think common driveways, one-way streets, and dead ends all 3 of them have to be addressed. So one-way streets, the car definitely has to be on the passenger side of a vehicle driving down the street. So if you're on a one-way street and you live on the left, it has to be put out on the right-hand side of the street, otherwise the truck can't pick it up. Dead ends the same way. If I have to back down the street, the car has to be on the opposite side of the street. And common driveways, it's basically wherever we're picking their trash up now is where we're still going to pick their trash up. Common driveways, it's not going to change.
Right, that I agree.
Ellie Brook's not going to change. really the only changes I see happening are the one-way streets and the dead ends.
Where do we have
Do
one
we
way?
have a lot of one way?
I don't actually think, I don't know if you have any one-way streets.
We don't.
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say, I was kind of confused on that.
No, we don't. We don't have any one-ways.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the only ones who really that I see a couple, the old Wharf one, Jason, that's the one off of Church Street.
Yep.
Is your truck nose in, or do they have to be out on Church Street? I know you're not gonna remember every project, and I don't expect you to, Jason, quite frankly.
Trying to think of it. Let me Google it.
Yeah, it's, they all put them out right on the corner, so they're mostly on Old Wharf, which is the size of a driveway. But they're not definitely quite on Church Street either.
No, they're usually along the driveway, that particular
Right.
side of it, yeah.
But I don't think Jason could drive in there. That's my issue there.
We don't drive in there. All the barrels are
Right.
on Church.
They'll just have to put them out so they're spaced apart, that's all.
Yeah, and they only need to be a foot apart realistically, but that'll be in the literature that they receive.
Yeah, I only see a couple of those anyways, Jason, and that's probably, we're just gonna talk to those residents one-on-one. That's it. I mean, they call, we're gonna have to tell them what they need to do.
Right.
Jason,
That
can we,
common driveway is the gentleman that came in and spoke to Jane a while ago, and he was wanted to put a little platform on the left side of the road so they can all stack the barrels up. Old Wharf Lane.
Oh, is that who you're talking about, Paul? Old Wharf Lane, really?
Well, that's what you're talking about, and that's the guy.
Yeah, I
that
didn't know if that's what you were talking about.
is it possible to proactively identify potential problem pickup areas before we do this?
Absolutely.
Jason.
I'll start on it tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, because I think that it's gonna be, basically, it'll be very specific to the location. And I think that it probably should be just done with that outside of mass mailing, that you're trying to cover all the bases.
I'll have my operations manager start that tomorrow. He'll get that wrapped up very quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I
Do you have
recycle? Oop, yeah, sorry.
mailboxes rolling on one side of the road?
What's that?
Do you have any streets that mailboxes are only on one side of the road?
Give me a minute to think about that.
I'm thinking of streets like Middle Street that's so narrow at some points. You guys drive every street, right?
They drive pretty much every street. Middle Street is got, it depends on where you go, boxes on both sides. Garden Street is only, most of it is on one side. They're coming in from Indian Hill Street to Roger Street, they're on both sides.
Okay. I'll have my driver check that out too.
That's the ice machine for Blake. Must be having a cocktail.
What did you say?
You having a cocktail, buddy?
Nope, I promise you it's water. See how transparent it is? It's water.
Okay.
Where the heck were we?
Can I recycle more than 65 gallons? All right.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Jan. I'd rather you take over because you'll speed it up.
So the only comment that I would make to that one would
Yeah.
be the answer should be, yes, the recycling center at Pipe Stave will still be available.
Awesome.
Good.
Can we add that in?
Oh, yeah. You can do whatever
Okay,
you
yeah,
want.
I would do that.
Agreed,
Done.
Tom. Very
And then that's, the rest of it's good?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I dispose of my own barrel recycling bin? 3 answers.
Yeah, come. Give. No offense, I can't come up with any other better ideas. Can anyone else? I mean,
The only thing that I would do is I would take the I would do the old barrels sentence first. I would say the give your barrels and carts to a friend or family member as the second, and then the third one is kind of gray. I don't know, which would be we are currently looking at recycling, and I don't know if that's how we're going to deal with that one. Any input on that, Jason?
I've reached out to the recycling plants numerous times on this since the last time we met, and I can't get a straight answer out of them. But I will work on that again as well.
I can just take it out, and if somebody asks, we can just say we're working on it at the public hearing. I mean, just.
I think I would take it out. If it's my personal opinion, I think I'd remove it completely. You're
Yeah.
giving them
Okay.
more opportunity to ask them that question, if, in my opinion.
I
Okay,
think that-
it's gone.
I think that ultimately we could be potentially paying the price up at Pipes, Dave.
Oh, I think you will.
You know, so, but anyways, yeah, if we can maybe think about a potential plan for that, so that if we can come up with something viable that's going to work, Jason, maybe it'd be good to have in place. We need to deal with it.
Grafton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, ready. Can I write my name and address on the wheeled trash carts?
Address only.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. What if
Famous
my
last-
cart? I know.
No, I said it's
What if my
self.
cart is stolen?
Go ahead, Jane.
You
Go ahead.
go, Tom.
No, I'm done.
What if my cart is stolen?
Honestly, stolen carts are up to you guys and how flexible you're going to be on that. Carts don't get stolen. I'm not going to lie.
But I thought
No.
we see some in Ipswich. You don't
What's
pick up at. Didn't you say once you see your carts everywhere, even in towns you don't pick up at?
So that happened to me in Newburyport right off the bat. I don't see
Oh.
that happening in a town like West New York. The only
Okay.
time you get a cart stolen is when you have a contractor working at your house and you lose and takes your car with them. That's truly been my experience. The
Do you want me to
city,
take that question out?
the cities definitely have a loss rate, and they average 4 to 6% per year. But I can count on 2 hands how many people called to say their cart was stolen in Newport or Amesbury.
Okay.
I
Should
found a
take the
lot that was
question
missing right off the bat. That was it.
All right, I'll keep it in.
In regards to the stolen carts, I know we talked about the RFID tags, but in talking to the car manufacturer, the RFID tags don't do anything for stolen carts because the only way I would detect it is if I pick that barrel up again somewhere else. The RFID tags is more so to track whether or not they're actually putting their trash and recycling out. And it really, they don't recommend it anymore because it didn't work the way it was supposed to.
All right.
'Cause I know in your other mailer, you put that they're gonna have RFID tags in it. I don't put them on here. I think we should change that.
All right, the next one, what if I sell my home? Do I take the cart with me?
I think that's pretty much self-explanatory.
Okay.
Now,
What if-
going forward on that, Jane, are we also going to, is there a way that we can let the the local real estate people know that? Or do you think they're
Yeah,
gonna just
I can,
know that already?
I can give a notice to Maureen, and she has a welcome package that she gives out.
Okay,
And I can ask her that for all the realtors' names, and I can send them a little note as well.
okay, thanks.
I don't know how in depth you want to get on that. I know Molly, in the report, met with the realtors, and at one point, she was trying to enforce that if the homeowner took the cart with them, that the realtor had to reimburse the town. I don't know how legal that is, and whether or not that was just a threat, but I know that was a thought process at one point. I mean, it can't be any more clear in this that the cart's a property of the town. And the logo, the seal, the town seal is gonna be stamped on the cart. Can't be any more clear.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, what if I buy a house and there are no carts?
Yeah, we can't keep, sorry, I was muted myself. I mean, unfortunately, we can't keep giving out carts. You know what I mean? That's gonna be one between the realtors and the new people. Because if they take the old cart, do you agree with that, Jason? We can't keep giving people new carts, or a household, I should say.
New construction will receive a cart. An existing home that is being bought and sold,
Right,
you really have to lean on the realtors to make sure that they leave it behind. Or it's in that welcome packet that you make the change.
correct. But if not, my whole point is we can't keep giving an existing household barrel after barrel. Am I correct in saying that? I mean, so they did take it, the realtor didn't say anything. The new homeowner's gonna have to pay $100 per barrel. Is that fair to say? That's what it's saying here anyways.
I think so.
Yeah, I do too, unfortunately. And you certainly, the last question, you opt out of the automatic curbside? Absolutely opt out, it'll save us money, right, Jason?
I would put in that if they're going to use the town collection, they cannot opt out of automated collection. If they choose to hire an outside party, then that's fine. Something along those lines. If they want to utilize the town collection, it has to be the automated part.
Can you believe how much progress we made tonight, guys?
So on the bottom part, under the
Sorry.
miscellaneous items, I'm gonna take out one way and just write that sentence that ends.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool beans, that's that.
And before you send this, I'll make sure that Mike finishes auditing the whole town as to any problem areas that he sees, and we can address them.
Great. And I'll start writing it up, Jason, and I'll give it to you as soon as I can.
Okay, while we're here, same thing, and then we can either move on or move the meeting on, whatever. Jane put in our packets, basically what the proposed trash recycling, you guys can't see that, right, or can you? Regulations will be. And she dated on it 3/2/21 at the very top. We might as well just finish up the whole trash issue to a degree.
Which
All I gotta
paper?
do is find it.
Which paper is it?
At the top, it will say proposed trash recycling, and it's supposed to say regulations, but it got kind of cut off. It says reg.
All right. Okay. Yeah. The
It got cut off a little bit.
yeah. The
That's to be our regulation. So we probably should discuss a little bit whether we're good with it, not good with it.
Okay, I just have one comment, and it's a moment. It says 64 gallons. The other stuff we've been discussing is 65 gallons, so,
It is 65. That's a typo. Correct, Jason?
all right.
Correct, Jason?
Okay,
That's
I just
65.
want to make sure.
No,
It should be,
realistically, it's 64.
Say
okay,
again?
so the
I
other,
think it's a 64 gallon cart.
So with that said, in the other literature, we need to change everything.
All right, then we need to change the other ones
Oh,
to
no,
60.
no, wait, hold on. They did change it to 65. They used to be 64s. I'm looking at his quote. He quoted them as 65.
okay,
You're
All
right.
right,
it's an easier change. All
Yep,
right,
It comes down to the manufacturer and who I buy them from.
Jane, at the top of it, where it says proposed trash and recycling, the regulation is spelt wrong. Is that going to be part of this?
No.
Or is it? It's all right. Okay.
No, that was just for us. Yep.
Okay. And then on the second paragraph, all approved households, we don't need to get hung up on that. That's clear.
Yeah, Mike McCarron approved that.
Okay. I think it's okay.
yeah, I'm fine with it.
because that's just something I was saying that we're going to address, I think on, I forget what date. I don't have the calendar. I'm not going to go back.
The 4th and the 13th, yeah.
Right, yeah. All right. I just wanted to, before we get there, have everything, a meeting before that, we might want to look over, double check everything.
Yeah,
Good. And then just take a look at the fees too. Make sure you guys are good with that.
Which was the next page, guys.
Okay, so that's the automatic curbside collection, the heading that, it's a landscape. Okay, yep.
Yep, that's the one, Tom, yes.
Okay. This whole fee schedule, now for additional carts, do we need to clarify that it's for residential use and it's not for commercial use? Or is that necessary at all?
Jason, I think that would maybe be to you, sir.
I don't have what you guys are looking at, but I would think that you probably,
Oh,
to be safe, should clarify residential use. Better safe than
Don't you
sorry.
pick up some businesses too, Jason?
I think there's a church that puts a barrel out. I'll have Mike check
A
that,
real
but
estate, a
it
bank?
might, yeah, there could be some small little ones.
Yeah, we have the garage down on Main Street. The guy that came in and asked if he could put his trash out.
Right.
the Honda,
Yeah.
Jason.
The one just on Church Street?
No,
On Main Street, next to West Newbury Insurance, I'll say. It's his closest neighbor, West Newbury Insurance. It's Honda. What is it, Tom? You might know.
Yeah, the guy that does, he has that little shop coming towards town. It's on the right hand.
yeah, it's Pearson's Honda.
Yes, it's Honda, yeah.
Oh, he always have a commercial container.
Okay. So additional carts for residential use, do we need to put that in? I don't know if anybody else is gonna put them up for commercial use or if it needs to be qualified at all. That's my question. I don't know if it's an issue.
I'm not sure. Have we had issues in the past, guys?
No, I don't think so. Long Hill maybe a little bit, but we made her get a dumpster at one point anyways.
And I do remember what Tom's referring to because the gentleman did come in and ask if he could have a barrel. He would put all his car
Lunch.
waste or whatever the word in the dumpster, but he wanted for his office use. Tom, does that sound right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was like for his lunch, his leftover lunch stuff. Trash.
So with that said, I think we could just leave it because I don't think we have that much commercial, but that's just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Okay. So the additional carts are $100 for trash or recycling. Is that okay, Jason?
Yes. All right.
Okay. And so So the next line says cart with a 12-month trash sticker permit, and that's
Yep.
$300. Does that imply that there'd be no fee for an additional recycling cart, or is that something we're dealing with?
So I don't have your document in front of me, but on your last document, you said the additional barrel costs $100 to buy it and then $200 per year for the sticker.
I sent it to you, Jason. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
With 6 months.
But didn't that last document that we were discussing say that it was $200 to get the sticker for the year?
Yes, it does. It's supposed to go hand in hand. I don't know if this is enough, but it's
Oh, it's
supposed to go
$100 for the barrel and then the sticker. So it's 300.
for either or,
Right.
Tom. Tom, were you questioning whether it be recycling or trash, Tom?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if somebody opted to, they had a lot of recycling, they didn't want to go to pipe stave, they wanted another recycling barrel, would there be the $100 fee for another recycling barrel
Yes.
cart? And then also would there be an additional fee of $200 to have it picked up? In other words, should it trash and a recycling? Like if you wanted to do recycling also, would there be an additional, would you do the same thing, $300 a year? $300 for a new barrel and the pickup for recycling. Jason, is that correct? Basically what I'm saying is that line says cart with 12-month trash sticker permit is $300. Now, if you put underneath it, cart with 12-month recycling sticker permit, what would it say for a fee?
I think that you want to eliminate those two lines because I would stick with additional cart, $100. 12-month
Okay.
trash sticker permit, $200. 6-month trash sticker permit, $100. And not confusing cart with a 12-month trash sticker permit.
Okay.
Because I'm confused by reading that.
All right, so don't make it a package deal. Make it all a cart.
Yes, because once they buy the cart, it's $200 each year going forward.
Right.
And
Okay.
And
if
that's
they
the
want-
next 2 lines down.
and
12-month
for
sticker.
additional, for the yearly sticker for recycling, I go cheaper than the trash because it doesn't weigh as much.
So how much would it be for the recycling? Would we charge them for the recycling pickup?
I would. You guys are paying to get rid of the recycling.
Yeah. But you were just,
But I would charge for the recycling yearly sticker. I would charge half of what the trash is to entice people to recycle more than just throwing it in the trash one.
Okay,
Okay.
recycling sticker 100.
yep, I guess what he's saying, yep.
Yep.
100 for the year.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
If you look at it that way, they only get picked up every other week also.
Oh, that
Okay.
is true. Yeah, that is true. I didn't think of that.
All right.
But realistically, that sticker isn't paying for the labor, it's paying for your disposal. But
Correct.
recycling is obviously light.
Okay.
And half the amount of time, basically. So that.
I had a question on the 6-month trash sticker. Are we gonna offer July 1st to December 31st? And then January 1st to June 30th? Are we gonna have dated stickers that people can get 6 months? Because it looks like here, the way that it's written, that it's basically available just from January to June. If you wanted to get a 6-month sticker. Are we gonna break these stickers up so that they'll clearly say the first half of the fiscal year or the second half? How are we gonna do that? So that when the drivers are picking it up, do they have to be looking at dates, or how's that gonna work?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
I would say you're just doing a yearly sticker. If they don't buy it at the beginning of the fiscal year, you could prorate the price. Still gonna be the same yearly sticker. I wouldn't do them in 6-month segments, but that's totally up to you. I don't know how much snowbirds you guys
That
have.
was a Georgetown.
Okay, and then that way it would be one sticker regardless of when it was attached to the barrel, the cart, and it would have the same expiration date. Okay. And then we could just prorate it. Yep. Okay.
You're always gonna have the residents that are gonna argue that go to Florida for the winter, and how are they gonna be compensated for that, but it's case by case.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So the idea that these additional carts is that they are assigned to a specific address and that they're not transferable. Is that basically what we're getting at? Words, and do we need to specify that, or are we basically just going to say the cart that you purchase is assigned to an address and not necessarily a person? I know that it sounds. I know that it sounds crazy, but as far as if people were to buy carts and then be lending them to their neighbors or whatever, is that okay for them to do that? Or do we just want to?
They bought it. Right?
I mean, I know they bought it, and I think that, we're basically paying for it, but do we need to clarify that at all, or am I overthinking this as far as, we don't have to worry about any criminals? I'm from Saugus, so.
Too funny.
But
Honestly, if someone wants to buy an additional cart and pay the yearly fee and share with their neighbor, all the power to them, I would think.
I honestly think it's a nice thing. I mean, we don't have to solicit it, but
Right.
just as long as we're not going to get hung up on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if it's paid for, that's, in my opinion, if it's paid for, that's all that matters.
Right.
Okay.
But that's just me. All right.
It might be a nice benefit for people, to be able to do that.
Absolutely. You think the Catholic Church is going to give you some money, Tom?
No, I don't think they're going to give me any money at all.
Oh, I thought they were going to share a barrel with you.
No, I don't think they're going to go in. No, no God trash on my side of the
Too funny, too funny. Does that pretty much wrap up our trash, Jane?
Yeah, we gotta go through the booklet, but I'm tapped. So let's put that on for the next meeting.
Yeah, I'd
And
like
I
to
will-
go through that. I'd like to go through that too, but not tonight.
Right,
Yes.
right. That's what Jane said. You and Jane voted. That's good enough.
Do we need to approve the minutes from the last two meetings?
Hold
Done.
Hey, question.
Jason,
Yes, Jason.
Give me a day or two to go through the auto cart booklet, because I see a few changes that I'll make for you beforehand, and I'll mark it up and I'll send it back to you.
great, perfect.
I'll make your life a lot easier.
Which one was that though? Real quick. I know we're not going to go through it. What paper was that, Jane?
It's right in the back. It says the booklet. It's we can actually do a handout on this one, or we can do a mailing.
Okay,
But
I
it's the one
got
that-
it. Yep, got it. Okay, yep. Thank you. I was just curious what we were talking about. Okay.
Honestly, Gene, I think that would be a good one for us to put in a waterproof bag and attach it to the handle of the cart.
Oh, great. Okay,
when you
let's
deliver
do
it.
that.
Can
That way it doesn't get misplaced. They're gonna see it the day that they pull their cart in, and it'll be fine.
Awesome. That's good.
so can we? Are we going to go through this at a later meeting? The automated, the whole overview of it.
Yep.
Are we going to go over
Yeah.
that? Okay, all right. Yeah, because I would like to discuss some of the stuff on it. That'll be good.
Good. Jane, all honesty, why it's fresh in our mind, why don't we just put that also on for the next agenda if it's all set
Yeah.
with you, if it's all set with you and Jason after marking it.
Down there. I got it.
Perfect. Do we want to get back to our regular meeting?
Yeah, we need to go over the minutes and some other stuff that needs to be discussed.
And
Jason,
Jason, before we say goodbye to Jason, can you send me the new contract and I'll get it out to the board?
So I'm just adding a year to it, correct?
No, you're just making it 4 years. I corrected that, Crafton?
That's
Because
what I modified the contract, yeah. because but you can add another year. It doesn't run simultaneously with Savanta anymore, so it doesn't matter. But whatever you want to do.
So when we had that last meeting that we were actually in person and we were all spread out in the room.
Yep.
We had the disgruntled parents.
Yep.
I had asked if, being that we delayed it a year, and being that I had spread the payments out for the carts over a certain amount of time, I asked if we could start a new 5-year contract, just add a year to it. And either make it a 5-year or just rename it a 6-year contract, either way.
Why don't we just write it up? In my opinion, Jason, I think we should just write it up as a new 5-year stuff. Obviously, this June, no, whatever, July 1st. I apologize.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll do that.
Yeah, because that one that we signed for you for the 1 year, done deal, it's gone. So
Well, I could either rewrite it as a new 5-year contract or make an amendment to add a year to the old one. That's the one half
Steve-
dozen.
New
I
contract.
think just do a new contract. We never signed it, Jason, so we might as well just stick with a 5-year and call it.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
fine. That's easy.
You're gonna keep the last year the same amount, right?
Yeah, the same amount as what?
Kidding you, Jason. Jason, if you don't want to hang out anymore, I think we're done with trash. We're just gonna do minutes. You are also welcome to stay. So that I just let you know that we're on to minutes and stuff.
I appreciate everyone's time. And are we gonna reconvene on this on your next meeting? Is that in 2 weeks or 4 weeks?
I'm hoping 2 weeks, like Tom said. Tom was, I agree with Tom. I think we are not doing a minute. Correct, Tom?
I think it's-
Yeah, I think we need to stay on this. Yep.
Yep.
Is it the
it's
same
the
link?
23rd, Jason.
Is it the same meeting link to each meeting, or do you have to send out a new one every time?
New one every time, Jason.
Okay,
Every time.
okay. Well, I will see you
And,
all.
but Jane, when Jane sends it out to us, she sends it out to us like a week before. She'll just add you to the, you know what I mean, to the meeting.
Yep. Okay. Well, everyone have a good night.
You too, Jason.
Jason.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, bye. Okay, Mr. James, you want to take over the meeting?
All right, if everybody's had the chance to review the minutes of February 9th,
Yes.
Yes.
I have two. All those in favor of approving them?
Yes.
Yes,
Aye.
I,
Okay, it's unanimous. The minutes of February 17th.
Yes.
yes, I already proved those to Jane. I'm all set.
All right, same here, we're fine. All right, the next thing on the agenda is a concerned citizen about the barber.
I personally went down and spoke with them. And, why can't I think of his name off the top? I apologize. And told him
I
that he
can't
needs to,
either for the moment, but
I know, I don't know why, but
Richie.
he needs to, Richie, right, Richie. So he needs to wear his mask appropriate, you know, especially when people are in there is what I said. And
right,
he has no problem. He says it just slipped down. It happens. So I did address it to him. So he's all set. Hopefully
Okay.
he's all set. How's that?
all right,
Hopefully.
all right, the steel landfill updates.
So nothing new to report. I did, while you guys were talking trash, I did email John Clement and ask for another proposal to do the testing in March.
Okay,
And he was all
Because
set
my
with that, Paul?
computer has-
I
My
sent him an
computer has
email
about 2
requesting a
minutes.
proposal, so I don't know, yeah, so he hasn't sent it back. Yes, Jane?
It's about to tank. Okay, next.
But we
all
pretty
right,
much,
COVID-19 updates.
yep,
Yeah, so a lot of updates on COVID-19. So we have a clinic scheduled in Amesbury this weekend. We had a link go live today at 3, and another link going live tomorrow at 8 and 12. But when it goes live, it goes to the state's website, so all 530 slots were filled within 3-4 minutes.
Wait a
So I-
second. Oh, back up. So we weren't having a glitch, Paul? They're all filled? There was no glitch. Oh, come on.
So I think what's happening is I think that everyone that goes to the mass vac site and gets on a wait list or calls 2111 and gets on a wait list, they're on a wait list statewide. So as soon as the site opens up, my feeling is that they get they automatically get a position in line for that clinic. They get a ping on their phone. They have 10, 15 minutes to finish the transaction, because I got the link from Amesbury. I added it to the email that I sent Jane Blake and town manager. And I clicked on the link to make sure it worked before I hit send. Otherwise, I'll be getting blamed for the wrong link. And when I clicked on it at that point, it was already starting to populate. So then I sent it to everyone. And within minutes, the thing blew up and it froze and it was all full. And then some sites opened back up. So I think what happened was that everyone populated it. Some people, didn't respond within a certain time frame, so that appointment opened up, and then automatically within seconds it filled up again. So that's what I think happened. So we are trying to come up with a plan to push the state to, this is not what we thought we were getting into, what they said we could do. They said it was open to the entire state, but not, we didn't have 5 minutes for us to populate it, because it filled remotely from, and it is really remote, because we got the printed list. We printed a list of the individuals who have got appointments in all over the state, from Cape Cod to Roxbury to West Yarmouth to 20-year-olds to 100-year-olds. All
Hey,
over the
Paul,
place.
real quick, can you try turning your volume down? Because I'm thinking your microphone is really loud. And that's what's
So the
ricocheting
volume
back.
control is on your end. You have to control.
No, I mean on your end. Try it on your end, because it sounds like you're the one with the feedback.
Blake, you're muted.
Sorry. Paul? Paul, stay on and everyone else mute themselves and we can see if it is Paul. And Paul can continue to talk if he wants.
Hello, Breaker 19, test.
It's not Paul. It's not Paul.
I know who it is, but they don't listen. They get mad at me when I mute them.
Who's
Oh,
that?
me?
No, well, you or Tom.
Whatever. Let's move on.
All right, so you asked a question, so I just answered you.
I did. I was just trying to figure it
So
out.
that's the story with the vaccine. So we're trying to figure out what we can do, because we got another clinic that's supposed to go live tomorrow morning and another one at noon. So basically it's a mess. So the other COVID update is I have a meeting today at 6:30 with the school health agents regards to opening of the school to full in person, because Commissioner Riley of the state Department of Ed came out with a ruling today that K through 5 is going to be open up full in person on April 5th. And then 6th through 8th grade is going to be opened up, I think, by the middle of April. And if it's not, then that time remotely does not count towards their schooling. So basically, the commission is holding everyone hostage that they have to go back fully remote no matter what. Otherwise, the school does not count.
Really? That's amazing. Okay. I just had to mute myself.
So yeah, so we got that. We had a couple of meetings last week. So we've been meeting tonight with the board, rest of the boards of health, and we're going to give school committee our opinion next week. And like I said, our hands are really tied. I mean, they presented documentation of all these different documents to back up their decision, but again, it's really have no decision. The boards of health really have no decision. I mean, they do. They could say
Right.
no, then it turns to a feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
Because they've cited 15 documents that some 10 doctors signed. So how is the board of health going to argue with that? And then the school district can't say no, because if they do, then you get all the parents hollering at them that the kids aren't getting credit for class. But the teachers union definitely has so still the teachers union could still throw throw something in the pipeline.
Oh, yeah. I got two quick questions, if you don't mind, and then if there's anything else, discuss us. Do you want to discuss? Well, let me just bring them up real quick, and that's it. One, do you think there's anything you're gonna do with the website for this vaccinating clinic? Oh, not this one, but maybe next one. Do you think we're really gonna have any say in it? I'm just curious.
Well, I think what it's going to take is I think it's going to take the mayors to get on the governor like they did before, and Lenny Mayer and Bruce Todd to really see what's going on. That so they the only thing the state's going to probably back us up on is they did allow us to schedule 25%. So 25% of every dosage gets the population. But the problem is if all our staff and volunteers go to all these clinics and we're not helping out our communities, we're going to start losing people pretty quick.
Guaranteed, you're right.
Pile of volunteers, and they're volunteering to help their communities. So
right,
we're only doing 25% of our community. We're going to see numbers dropping off for helping out pretty quickly. That's my take. So
I would agree with
tonight later on that. With half 3 or 4 of us to figure out what we can do to push the state. But
yeah.
Paul, is there any information available on our ability to possibly vaccinate teachers?
Yeah. So the teachers are eligible, not eligible until 11th, which is Thursday, to access to schedule a clinic. So even though our clinics are not until the weekend, they cannot physically schedule it because on the drop-down tab of the registration process is no your elementary tab to click on. So there was talk about having the teachers at the Mass Vac site have a separate day, like every Thursday or something like that, eligible for teachers. So our plan as a regional group, it will probably, we have to decide it, but moving forward, if we continue, then a portion of our 25%, a lot of vaccine would be strictly held for the teachers. So the teachers could be getting vaccinated next week by our group.
Okay.
A portion of them. We get our towns, we get close to 2,000 teachers. So obviously some may have already got vaccinated. We've been vaccinating some for volunteers at the clinic, so we're whittling away at them. But we may, that's what so we don't know. I mean, plan was to get these links and get the teachers able to schedule quick, but as you saw today, within 5 minutes, the site blew up.
Yeah.
So I think the teachers union, I read over the DESI guidance. It still talks about 3 foot is allowed, 6 foot is preferred. Teachers still need to maintain 6 foot separation from kids unless they're walking up and down the aisles to pass papers out or something like that. They can come in close contact and then pull away. So it's, I think honestly, I think it's safe. I mean, from what we've, we're getting to better weather, ventilation is going to be better, open the windows. We know that masks do help. We haven't had any community spread within the school district itself within school, but again, we've been 6 feet apart.
Yep.
The definition of close contact is not changing. So if we do have students 4 or 5 feet apart, there will be some that will be close contact if there is a positive case.
Good.
Jane, just so you know, sorry, Tom, let me just say, Jane's computer quit, so that's why she's out. It died. So go ahead, Tom. Sorry, I just want to make sure you guys knew that.
Well, can the health agents have real-time data on within their community how many people are vaccinated within the population of West Newbury or the other communities? Do you have any sense of what the vaccination rate is for West Newbury residents?
I could have Diane check the Maven, but again, that's a state system and it doesn't always work the way it's supposed to work. But I can, she has time to try to pull those numbers. And I can try to get that information, but again, it's kind of,
Look at this.
you know, we really got our hands tied, really. Just because, in order for us to say no at this point, we really need to have something that we can back up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
'cause right now, we're fighting the tide. But,
Yes.
Had emergency last week, got emergency approval by his board. So this one commissioner can make the authority to decide that when it's time to put a plug on, no credits being allowed. So he asked for emergency approval last week. And he got it. And then got it on Friday, emergency approval, and today he sent out the letter basically saying what the school district has to do.
Yeah.
And again, there's provisions in there, the school district can ask for a waiver and all that, but I'm sure it's just, you have to jump through hoops to get the waiver. But we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, so this is nothing new today. We've been talking about it, we've been meeting on it, discussing.
Yeah.
It's just, eventually it's gonna happen. So I don't think at this point is really holding back. Only thing we can do is try to get, keep the separation distance as great as possible.
Yeah.
Every school is different. The superintendent is coming up with a plan. And you have certain numbers. Right now, paid school is 91% back in full capacity right now with 6 feet separation.
Yeah.
So it's only going to be 9% of the students at paid school that cannot have 6 feet of separation.
Yeah.
The other schools, Merrimack and Groveland, aren't lucky. So some of those, they only have, 4 feet between students. But right now, paid is currently 91% full with 6 foot separation. So every school is different.
Yeah.
So as you know, it's all risk based.
Yeah.
We are increasing the potential here by bringing it back to school, but how is any way to quantify how much? Because people are getting vaccinated, we have better protocols in place, the mask, hand sanitizer, wash.
Yep.
And people are getting vaccinated. So I don't think there's any way to say by bringing it back, really, we know it can increase the risk, but is it, how small is it really even increased?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I asked about what the vaccination rate is in our town, and it's a byproduct of the whole picture as far as how many people in our community are vaccinated within our community as far as our ability to transmit disease within the other communities. And I think that although it may not totally reflect to the schools, it is kind of a byproduct of what we have to be concerned with in the community. And it would be really great if the state were able to give us that information, just like they were able to give us positive test rate. Wouldn't it be great if they gave us a sense that 30% of the people in West Newbury have been vaccinated that can be vaccinated, and that would be a nice thing to have available to going forward. And also, it would be a nice thing for us as a Board of Health, and for you, Paul, with all your efforts that you're putting in to kind of, give people an idea of what we're doing for the community as far as the clinics and stuff. So I hope that the state makes that available. I wouldn't necessarily ask Diane to get that information, but I think it would be beneficial information. That was kind of the point that I was making about that. Anyways, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
We
no,
almost
I'll
done?
see what I can find out. But again, like I said, our hands are pretty much tied. We've been having meetings with Dr. Bowden and the health agents last week. We got another one tonight here in 5 minutes, so we got to wrap this up, start or get them out. But yeah, so we are working on it. But honestly, right now, to be honest with you, we can't see nothing that we can stand behind and say no at this point.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, I had one thing, and I'll make it as short as sweet. Seeing everyone here, including Jane, which is not here, are both vaccinated 2 times, does that allow us to meet as a group, or do you people want to continue like we are? That was it. Tom, your input is probably most important because I know you see it on a daily routine.
I think that we would be flexing the envelope of the CDC right now as far as what they're recommending as far as getting together. And I think that to have an in-person meeting but not allow people from outside into the meeting may be somewhat of an issue. I mean, you know, we can get Diane's weigh in on it, we can get Paul's weigh in on it, but as of right now, I think we're still going to have to continue doing this unless we have some clear guidance that it's okay. But I do look forward to getting together with you guys.
Yep. I just wanted to ask the professionals. I consider you and Paul, but, no offense, Bob, but I'm
I
not a
know, hey, I'm,
professional. I'm not a professional, but you guys really have the thumb on this. Well, you do, you know what I mean? So I'd rather ask you too. That's why I'm asking you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think that's
Do we
fine
need
for
to
now.
do any-
That's fine.
Do we need to do anything with that septic plan on 104 Georgetown Road?
Yes, if you guys want to come in, I can leave it in the truck. You can come look at it, sign it. Basically, it's a existing house, failed system. Want to increase the bedrooms, so they're going for new construction. So it meets the field system, but they're increasing the bedroom. So it's new construction, but it meets everything. So it's pretty straightforward.
No variances at all, Paul, right? They're not requesting any. I know it's new construction, that's why I'm asking. Paul, you're on a time delay. I know you're busy.
Can you hear
All
me?
right.
Yeah, I could, just real quick question. I heard you say it's new construction now, so they ask for no variances at all, correct?
Correct.
With that said, even though I shouldn't, I'm just gonna allow Paul to, if you're not asking for any variances, for me, I'm gonna give Paul the latitude to do it himself. But that's up to you guys. That's what I'm doing.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine with me. I'm not the expert.
Nope, if it's new construction, if there's no variances, well, what's that, a cut, Tom? I'm kidding. I give Paul grace to get this stamped and approved. It's fine with me.
Yep. Okay, do you need us to sign them, Paul?
It's up to you. I can leave it in the truck. You guys sign payroll sometime this week too. I don't think. So
Start tomorrow,
that's the-
leave it in there, Paul, and we'll stop by.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for the convention. Let's do it. Let's sign it. I'll
Yeah.
sign it. I love.
Yeah, I'll be in the morning anyway, Paul. I have a meeting at 9:30, so I'll be there.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, you got a meeting, Paul. Can we call it a wrap there, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we can, if there's nothing else.
Good move, guys, tonight. Good
Yeah.
job. You got a lot accomplished. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Take care.
I'll see you
Thank
next time.
Yep. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.